friends, today I am going to draw an illustration which is for an upcoming comp which I'm thinking of letting you all play in, and I was going to base it on this little guy from Mountain King because I think he's sweet. Plus we're coming into fall in the northern hemispheres and there's a bit of an autumn vibe here, so I thought I'd bring him back into play and include you in the drawing process. So what I usually do first is just play with thumbnails. So I sort of go, okay, well, here's my page size. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of getting this little guy. I want him to be sitting on top of a pile of pumpkins. I like these wings because they're made out of basically autumn leaves. These wings up. So this is just playing, scribbling ideas. Is this going to work? These are the questions I'm asking. Is it going to be something that's fun to colour, fun to look at? Do people want to colour in a pile of pumpkins? I've been playing with the whole dragon horde. So usually dragons sit on a pile of gold, but I want this guy to be sitting on his pile of pumpkins because in this Mountain King book, this title of this is Pumpkin Thief, so he's thieving his pumpkins. And here we have him sitting on his stash. I'm wondering about doing another border which has leaves. And maybe some welcoming jack-o'-lanterns at the front. So that was my initial idea. So I just sketched that out roughly to see if it works. So I'm going to just play with, can I pull out lines from this mess that I've created with my red pencil? And how's this dragon's body going to sit on top of his pile of pumpkins? Maybe we have him coming forward with like crossed arms. And we can have his fins. I like the wings being symmetrical here. I think that could be a fun little motif to play with. And he's sort of like stacks on top of his pumpkin pile. The other question I'm asking is, how do I make this pumpkin pile not just a whole lot of circles and just make big pumpkins? Maybe there are other things trapped in there, small children. Maybe his pumpkin pile sitting in like a castle. He's got his castle gate, so I can have like some fun little details here of some broken down gate walls with viney tree things growing out of them. The other thing to think about is giving people light sources to colour. So I've got these jack-o'-lanterns which can have light coming from them. Do these things have flames on top? It could be fun. Flames means smoke. Smoke's always a fun tool to play with. Is his tail going up? Is his tail wrapping around? I think we should wrap his tail around. Could be a good way to bring some interesting detail into these pumpkins so it's not just a pile of orange. Well, I'm getting happier and happier with that. Hope you're enjoying being in the middle of my thought process here. So I'm getting happier with this. What do you reckon? Get his fins up. The angle of these arms is going to really convey a lot of emotion. I've got to get that right. And then what do I do with his back legs? Do I have them sticking out like that? And that looks a bit lizard-like, doesn't it? Or do I sort of make it cute and have it where I initially thought, just there? I don't think I want to have them sticking out. I think I want them contained. I'll just sort of tuck them in there. I'm loving this tail doing a big S through the middle of everything here. Now we've got this as reference because the shape of his wings, I don't want to miss how I did that, because my memory is telling me a different shape than is actually what I drew. So just for consistency, especially when I'm reworking a current or an existing character, it's good to reference what you've already done. So here's the main feature of the page. The other features are going to be these two flanking jack-o'-lanterns. Now I could play with the lovely stalks, give them some fun definition. And of course there's going to be all sorts of little, they're not just sitting there alone, are they? They put them in their place with sunflowers, other autumn motifs. So I have this one sort of looking straight on. And do I want scary? Do I want happy? I'm going to do another one here. It's going to be a bit smaller and I'll face him outwards. Obviously this is still just rough. Curl him in. I'm liking these columns, so I'm going to go with them. I sort of like that there's flames. Dragons to me says flames. Especially in his hoard, in his cabin, wherever he's decided to stash his little pumpkin. It's like a huge, dangerous, scaly lizard, squirrel, isn't he? It. And we'll put some smoke up there because smoke's a fun way to add colour to a thing, so that it's not just all. Give people options and things where they can create a difference. Now, I think these trees need to be sort of scraggly, and I'm going to start with some scraggly tree parts. They're struggling to survive in the noxious mist of the fumes from the dragon's face. I'm imagining some sort of leafy, instead of a crown, maybe we have a leaf, a big leaf there. And there's our pumpkins. A little pumpkin pile. I think we should call this one Trick or Treat. Well, that's my thumbnail. I think my first thumbnail's pulled a winner. I think that would be a really fun thing to colour. Usually I do 3 or 4. I'll sort of pick the best one, because my initial one might not work as well as I thought it would in my brain once I get it on the paper. But in this case, I think I might push this one a little bit further. Reintroduce our pumpkin thief from Mountain King, and create a fun little way for people to colour. While I'm here working stuff out, I'm going to work out, because I've got a side-on face for him here, but I don't have a front face. Maybe I gave him too big a nostrils here. We'll re-angle those. There is a theory that if you draw something 7 times, by the 7th time you'll have worked out the awesome, especially with character design. I've tested it out. I taught it to one of my students and it works. Especially if you're trying to caricature something or someone. By the time you've drawn it 7 times, you've worked out all the knots. You've become all of the parts of the face, how the nose works, all that sort of stuff's in your head, and then you can quite easily get it out. Not that I do draw everything 7 times, because hey, who's got that sort of time? You'd only get one colouring book a year See that sort of speed. But sometimes when you're struggling, you've got to just keep pushing it. So I think this was too fat. I've thinned him in and I've re-angled. I re-angled his nostrils and I re-angled his eyes to more match what I'm seeing here. Maybe these could be extended in the final draft. So I've got a head. What else am I going to struggle with here? I think everything else is pretty much under control. Maybe I should draw a wing. Those wings could be tricky. Well, I think I've pretty much already got one there, don't I? Yeah. Well, let's, for the sake of it, do another one. If we just did some big leaves. Some sunflowers, viney bits, a big pumpkin, change our scale up a bit. This will be the simpler version, I guess. So that's a fun little border with those jack-o'-lanterns at the bottom. I could still have my stack, my dragon horde. Maybe I have some foliage dispersing. So once again, people don't have to draw just a great big pile of orange circles or colour in a pile of orange circles. And then using the same, focus more on his hands. Pumpkin leaves, that's what we need. Be viney, pumpkiny leaf things going in through here. Transforming into some autumn leaves as they go up. Berry things and some flowers. And the tail, instead of going down, I'm going to flick it up. What's his tail doing? It's like just a big leaf, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 3 prongs on each side. So he's still on his horde, but there's a, we've zoomed in a little bit, made it a little simpler. So this is a bit rougher, but I like these jack-o'-lanterns. So do I put those jack-o'-lanterns there? But I'm sort of looking down on those where I'm looking up into this. This could be a more fun one to colour. Because I'm using it in a comp, I want it to be available to experienced colorists as well as to more inexperienced or new colorists. And this, with all of its detail, could be a little bit daunting. So my question is, do I go the detail? Do I make it still fun, but a little simpler? So the experienced colorists have the opportunity to still shine, but people who are less experienced won't be daunted by the amount of detail and can happily, you'd happily colour that in markers. That's the question. Well, I guess we're going to have to wait a little while I think about that. But that's my thumbnailing process. That's how I think about what I'm going to draw. The next phase is where I take these thumbnails, decide what I'm going to do, and do another rougher drawing to get all of those details where they need to be. So let's move on to that stage.